In the world of young Sheldon, where heartwarming family drama and comedic chaos intersect, fans have grown deeply invested in the unfolding relationship between Georgie Cooper and Mandy McAllister. What started as an unexpected teenage pregnancy storyline has matured into a heartfelt journey of two young adults navigating parenthood, romance, and responsibility. But while this partnership blooms in young Sheldon, viewers can't help but glance down the temporal tunnel toward its older sibling series, The Big Bang Theory. And in that future, Georgie's life looks different. So, is the Georgie and Mandy partnership doomed according to Big Bang lore? Let's dive into the canon, the characters, and a bit of creative conjecture. A tale of two Coopers to understand. The looming question: we need to split our focus between two timelines, the 1990s Texas of young Sheldon and the 2000s California of the Big Bang Theory. In Big Bang, George Cooper Jr., played by Jerry O'Connell, is portrayed as a successful businessman who owns a chain of tire stores. He's charming, confident, and has the air of someone who's overcome a bumpy past. Yet in all of Sheldon's anecdotes about his older brother, there's a noticeable absence. No mention of Mandy, no mention of a daughter, and no clear ties to the complex life we're currently watching unfold in young Sheldon. So what happened? The lore. We know. Let's examine the hard facts from the Big Bang Theory. Georgie is estranged from Sheldon for much of their adult lives. In Season 11 of Big Bang, we meet adult Georgie for the first time. Sheldon is in the process of getting married, and his brother is initially reluctant to attend. The reason? Years of resentment. Georgie sacrificed for the family after their father died, and he felt that Sheldon never appreciated it. There's no mention of Mandy or a child. When Georgie appears, there's no allusion to having a partner or daughter. His story revolves entirely around his relationship with Sheldon and his tire business. Georgie is a successful businessman. The once aimless teenage Georgie of young Sheldon eventually becomes financially successful, even though his educational trajectory was uncertain. From this, we can extract a few troubling implications for fans rooting for Georgie and Mandy. The silence around them in Big Bang could suggest they're no longer together in Sheldon's adult life, or at least not prominent enough to be mentioned. But let's not leap to conclusions too quickly. Television continuity, especially between prequels and originals, can be full of gray areas and narrative wiggle room. The power of selective memory. It's entirely possible that Mandy and their child aren't mentioned in Big Bang Theory simply because Sheldon doesn't think to mention them. He's notoriously self-centered and emotionally distant. It's plausible that, in his mind, his brother's personal life isn't worth noting unless it directly impacts him. In other words, the absence of Mandy and their child in Big Bang may say more about Sheldon than it does about the fate of the relationship. Still, television writers are known to drop subtle hints, and silence is a loud one in serialized storytelling. The fact that Georgie appears alone, with no mention of a family, is suspicious at best. Creative speculation. The path ahead. Now let's venture into creative theory territory. Suppose Georgie and Mandy do break up at some point. How might that look, and what could lead to it? Scenario 1. The classic drift. Georgie, under mounting pressure to provide for his new family, pours himself into work, perhaps starting those early tire shop gigs. Mandy, balancing motherhood and her own aspirations, feels increasingly isolated. Over time, love turns into routine, and routine turns into resentment. They part ways amicably, choosing co-parenting over conflict. Scenario 2. Tragedy or transition. Some fans fear a darker twist. Perhaps Mandy faces a serious illness or even an early death, leading Georgie to raise their daughter alone. This would explain her absence in Big Bang, while preserving the emotional weight of their relationship. Scenario 3. Off-screen but intact. Alternatively, maybe Georgie and Mandy are still together during Big Bang Theory, but they simply don't interact with Sheldon often. This would require fans to accept a level of off-screen continuity, one that doesn't conflict with canon, but rather hides in its blind spots. A modern retcon. Television universes evolve, and retcons, retroactive. Continuity changes are hardly rare. Young Sheldon has already softened some of Sheldon's harsher childhood memories, suggesting a more empathetic view of his family life than Big Bang originally painted. So perhaps the showrunners of Young Sheldon are laying groundwork to expand, or even alter what we know from Big Bang. Mandy, being a fan favorite, may earn her rightful place in the Cooper family legacy, regardless of her prior absence in lore. And there's precedence. Leonard's brother and sister are never seen on Big Bang. Howard's father is a mystery for the entire series. In the sitcom multiverse, not every thread needs to be visible to the audience. Final verdict. Doomed or deferred? Is the Georgie and Mandy relationship doomed? Canonically? Maybe. The silence in Big Bang Theory certainly raises red flags. Emotionally? Not necessarily. The chemistry, growth, and sincerity we see in young Sheldon give us reason to hope. Creatively? There's ample space for the writers to chart any path they want, from heartbreak to happily ever after. In the end, whether Georgie and Mandy make, it isn't just about adhering to lore. It's about how stories evolve. Just like real-life relationships, TV relationships aren't always linear. They're messy, beautiful, and sometimes bittersweet. And that's what makes this partnership, doomed or not, so compelling to watch. Would you like a shorter version of this, or want it styled more like a magazine column or video script?